guess. I do a lot of these.
Good morning. We're so excited. We have Amber Larsen with us today from Family Search, and Amber's going to talk to us and share with us a little bit about the wiki on Family Search. Before we get started, I just wanted to find out where you guys are joining us from. Maybe tell us if you're a researcher and if you've used the wiki before. And if you've used the wiki before, how familiar are you with the wiki? I often refer to the wiki as kind of like a hidden gem in Family Search because I feel like a lot of people aren't as familiar with it as they should be. And I know for me as a researcher, when I discovered the wiki and I learned how to properly use the wiki, I became a much better researcher. And so I'm just so thrilled and excited to have Amber talk to us about it and tell us about all the tools and the resources that are there, and also be able to teach us a few new things for those of us that might be familiar with it. And so, Amber, why don't you go ahead and tell us about you?
Sure. My name is Amber Larsen, like Katie said. I am from Ogden, Utah. I grew up there. I graduated from BYU with a degree in family history and genealogy in 2017. And I am now an accredited genealogist, and I work for Family Search on the Research Wiki. So there's like a brief summary.
And I don't know if a lot of people understand, not only to get the degree in family history, but to become accredited. It takes a lot of work and a lot of great passion to be able to get to that point. So
it does.
I really admire you for getting there. That's a lot of work. So
Thank you.
I noticed that you emphasize in Scandinavian research. Why did you choose Scandinavian research?
Yeah, so it was a long story. I was at BYU studying family history and genealogy there. And as part of the program for the degree, they ask you kind of to pick a geographic area of emphasis, like where you want to focus a lot of your expertise and your research. And I was kind of jumping back and forth between a few different things. And eventually I had some friends that were in the Scandinavian research classes, and I wanted to learn a new language while I was there. I'm like, well, my last name is Danish, so maybe I should just learn Danish while I'm here. And so I learned Danish at BYU and then just kind of fell into all the Scandinavian classes. And then here I am. So it was really some divine providence that kind of lined up all my things together.
I totally agree. I mean, I know for me, none of that, I didn't have a desire to do anything outside of the United States. And in fact, so I love the South. And so that's where my emphasis was in the South. And it's weird to me how there's so many areas that you could emphasize in, but you know where your heart is and you know where you're supposed to be. So I love and admire that you chose to learn a new language even. That's difficult to read all that ancient handwriting and to learn a new language.
It was scary. Yeah. If anyone's ever looked at old Scandinavian records, yeah, it's not like the English handwriting that we know and love, right? It's a little trickier. So yeah, it was a lot of work, but I've been loving it. So it's been fantastic experience.
Oh, what a gift to the genealogical community. So why family history? Why did you choose that as a degree?
Yeah, I took a history class in high school that I loved. I had an amazing European history teacher who just inspired this love of history in me. And then I started looking at universities after high school to see where I wanted to go and what I wanted to study. And to me, the idea of studying just history didn't really appeal to me. I wanted something more involved or hands-on. So I was thinking maybe anthropology or archaeology or things that had to do with history, but I didn't just want to read books all day. That's what I thought historians did all the time. And then I saw that BYU had a degree in family history and genealogy. And so I decided to go there, and it's been great. It satisfied a lot of my interest in history and also my need to solve problems and like play detective. So that's something I didn't know I wanted, but I've loved it.
Oh, I totally understand. Such a awesome thing to do, and so fulfilling. So, tell me about Family Search. How did you get a job at Family Search?
Oh gosh, I was graduating BYU as a senior, and I had no idea what I was going to do for a job. I was looking all over at tons of different genealogy companies or anything even related to genealogy. And there was an internship that had opened up for the FamilySearch Research Wiki. And I, thought, okay, well, I'll take this internship. It was only supposed to be a year long. I'm like, well, if I don't like it, I'll just, get a new job again after a year and start the job hunt again. And I ended up really liking my internship. And then they ended up offering me a spot to stay. And so I took it and I have loved it ever since.
That's a wonderful. Oh, I thought it would be a dream job. So should we dive into Wiki? You want to tell us about Wiki?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So FamilySearch Wiki, I guess as a summary, if any of you haven't used it, essentially it's a sort of encyclopedia, I guess, of how to do genealogy in different countries. And so it's not really a place where you go to like type in your ancestor's name and find records there. We don't have ancestor information on the wiki, but we have information on, what records are useful in different countries and handwriting aids and articles describing how to do the research process in each country and what things are useful, because doing genealogy in England is different than doing genealogy in Germany, right? And so we try to kind of explain those differences and how to best utilize resources to find your ancestors there.
Cool. So tell us, what's your favorite thing about it? What's your favorite thing about Wiki?
Oh gosh, I think my favorite thing about the wiki is that it's constantly growing. In just even like the last, I think 2 years, we've added like over 4,000 articles to the wiki. And so it's continually evolving and progressing, and we are updating information, adding new information for different countries. And so, yeah, I think that's my favorite thing, is that you can, come back after a month or two of being away and there's new information there that you never had seen before.
Yeah. I just think, for me, I think it's never ending. Especially if you're looking in a specific area, you just continue to go down rabbit holes and find more and more and more records and things that will help you in your research. So do you want to show us some of how Wiki works?
I do, yes. Okay. Let me move my screen over. Oops. All right. So this is the FamilySearch Wiki. So if any of you haven't been here before, I guess I can talk about how to get here, because sometimes people don't really know how to access the wiki. If you go to Family Search, this header should look familiar. You can see the family tree and search and memories. Underneath search, if you click search, it's this bottom option here that's Research Wiki. So that's one of the main ways that people can get there. So if you are familiar with Family Search and you've used that a lot, Family Search is free. You don't have to have an account to view the Research Wiki, but that is how to navigate to that, is underneath search and then Research Wiki. You can also just Google us, Family Search Wiki, and we come up pretty high. So there's your other option. All right, so this is the brand spanking new main page of the Family Search Wiki. We didn't used to look like this. We had a more antiquated map of the world, and it just didn't look as pleasing to the eye. So we're really excited about this new layout that we have. And I guess I can kind of talk about how to navigate the wiki using this main page to get to the information that you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So there's a couple of options of how to get to your country of interest in the Research Wiki. So the first is to use this clickable map. So if you're researching, say like in Sweden, you can either click on this Europe button here. If you click on your continent, it'll pop up a list of all the countries over here on this left-hand side in alphabetical order. So you can then scroll down to find your country. So in this case, we have Sweden, so we could click on Sweden and go that direction. You can also, just using the search bar, just type in the name of your country or your topic of interest. So I could just type in Sweden right here, And it will pop up a suggested, are you looking for one of these specific topics? Or you can just click search and navigate that way as well. So in this particular case, I'm just going to click Sweden genealogy. And this takes me to the Sweden, what we call our country page, or our page for that specific location. All right, so first, are there any questions or anything you want to ask? Feel free to interrupt me if I just kind of talk a lot.
Let's see, are there any questions? Let's see. I wasn't looking at the comments. Let's see. Camille says, I love knowing what is available in an area. That's what I agree. Especially when you know where you're searching specifically, and then you that area and you can see, is there going to be a birth record for that specific area? Is there going to be any marriage records? I love that that wiki offers that.
Mm-hmm. Totally true. Okay, well, let's talk about the country page. So I like to kind of break this down because, like I mentioned near the beginning, the Research Wiki is kind of an encyclopedia of sorts. All the information that the community or family search or research specialists have contributed to the Research Wiki, for some of these countries like Sweden, we know a lot of information. And so the way we've chosen to organize it, if you kind of just jump to this page with no experience, it can be a little overwhelming. So I wanted to kind of break this down and talk about what features are on these country pages for you and your country to learn how to do research there. So first, I want to talk about these articles right here. So we have a section called Getting Started with Sweden Research. This can be helpful if you have a specific thing you're looking for, but you kind of want a little bit of instruction of how to get there. So if you're looking maybe for your ancestor's marriage in Sweden, you could do, finding marriage information in Sweden, and it will kind of walk you through more of the details about researching for marriages in that country. And so we have the Getting Started articles, and then we also have a section of research tools. So these are less explanatory, less introductory, I guess, to the research, but more like things that you can use along the way, such as gazetteers, locating your place name of where your ancestors lived and finding where that is. Or, for example, in the Scandinavian countries, feast day calendars are really important because if you have an ancestor, whose christening is in the church book and it says they were christened on the 5th Sunday after Easter, and you're like, well, I don't know when that was, right? And so some of these calendars are important tools in Scandinavia, and those are things that aren't necessarily records themselves, but are things that can help you as you do your research. So we've got Getting Started information and then tools to then help you with that.
Awesome.
Okay, these next couple things are one of my favorites that I love to talk about, and they're these two buttons right here. So this first button, sometimes we call it our magic blue button, or just our blue button. And if you click on this button, it will take you to a page of all of the online record collections that we know of for that particular place. So if I click on Sweden Online Genealogy Records, it'll take me to a page where, organized by topic, I have links to all of the websites and all of the record collections for this country. So first we have vital records. Those are usually the most important for genealogists: birth, marriage, and death information. And so we'll list any websites, whether the websites are Family Search, whether they're Ancestry or MyHeritage or Find My Past, archival websites or libraries, any website that has online collections, we will list them here. We've got websites for cemeteries for Sweden, census substitutes, immigration records if your ancestor left Sweden. And I would just scroll down this list forever, but I'll let you guys play with that for your particular country. And this is one of my favorite things about the Research Wiki is if you maybe have done Swedish research before, you maybe know what you're doing, and this pertains to any country or place you're researching in. And you know how to use the birth records, but you don't remember which site has them. You can just come here, find your vital records section, and just click all the links and open them all up and search all the databases. So it's a really fun place to go, just to have a world of opportunities for here's all the things you can research here.
I love it because I think sometimes we forget where we've been, or or even to check in certain locations. So it gives us so many like options and reminds us, oh, check here or check here.
It does. It's true. I use these a lot when I'm doing research, just so I can have easy access to all the online collections.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so this next button is called Ask the Community. So I'm sure a lot of you have, I know this live stream is happening on Facebook, so you guys are likely using Facebook. And there are a lot of internet research groups that I think can be really helpful in doing genealogy, where you can post and ask questions and get feedback and ideas of how to do your research from other people just on the internet. And we have a page where we list all of those Family Search affiliated ones and other research groups to give you an idea of, if you're stuck in your research and you want some collaborative help from people who just are offering their time for free, here's some places that you can go to get that. So we have, I usually am doing international research, and so usually I'll come to their alphabetical list of countries, depending on what country you're interested in. So if I am doing Sweden, again, since that's our topic here, I can just click this S, and it'll jump me down to the S section of our research groups. And I'll scroll down and find Sweden. All right, so we've got, actually, let me show you the column headings, because this isn't going to make any sense without them. Okay, back up to the top. Okay, so the Family Search community is a tool that's run by Family Search, and a lot of these Family Search community groups are contributed to by family history research specialists at the Family History Library in Salt Lake City. And so if you have questions about Italy research or Sweden, like we talked about, in this column, the Family Search community, you can go to one of these research groups for free and join the group and post your questions there, and you can get research help from people in that group or a research specialist at the Family History Library who can help you as well. So the community is a really fantastic place, so check out these links. And then the other side, or this middle column, is the Family Search Facebook groups. So these ones are a little less, they're well known, but they're not always known that they're affiliated with Family Search. So Family Search has a few Facebook groups that are run by a team of volunteers, and they have thousands of members in them. So if you're already a Facebook user and you're familiar with the way Facebook groups work, I would highly suggest joining one of these groups, and it's an excellent place to post your questions and get feedback and ideas or translations of records. So that's a place to go if you're already on Facebook and you're comfortable with that platform.
That's great. I didn't even know that those existed. I mean, on Family Search, I think that's wonderful that, because sometimes it's hard to find the community, and so yeah. I think that's wonderful.
It is. It's been a lifesaver for me. Sometimes when I have a record that's just a little bit outside of my comfort zone, it's really good to just pop on one of these groups and ask a question to maybe someone who's more familiar with that particular type of research than me. And it's a good place to learn and to just feel supported.
We have a question from Marcel. Are there any courses for editing on Family Search Wiki?
That is an excellent question. So as I guess an introduction to her question, the nature of a wiki, like Wikipedia or other wikis across the internet, is that they can be edited by the community. So if there's information that the community has that they want to contribute, you can edit the wiki. And we can talk about that at the end if there's questions about that. But as far as courses on editing, there may be some. I'm currently not aware of them, but I will tell you that there are ideas in the works for us to kind of create some resource material for how to edit the wiki. So keep an eye out for that in probably the next couple of months, and we'll try to get that out there. Otherwise, as far as basic editing right now, until we develop our own content for how to edit the research wiki, I would suggest looking up YouTube videos or other tutorials on how to edit Media Wiki. Media Wiki is the platform that the Family Search Wiki uses, and a lot of the editing that you learn on Media Wiki transfers to the Family Search Wiki. So that can be a good tie over for editing until we get ours up and running.
Awesome. Okay, so those of you that are just joining us, we're talking to Amber Larsen from Family Search about the wiki. And so if you have any questions, be sure to ask while we've got her full attention. So tell me, Amber, is there anything like have you ever had any just aha moments, discoveries when you've been on the wiki? Has there been a time that you like think back?
Yeah, actually, there have. I had a research problem one time that I was helping a friend with. It was in Latin, and it was, I don't remember what country the record was from. A lot of countries in Europe will use Latin in their records. And in Scandinavian countries, they don't use Latin as much. Most of the records are in the native language. And so my experience with Latin was very, very limited. I knew like Dominus, right? And like just kind of basic Latin words that you see sometimes in documents. And this friend had no idea how to translate this record. And so I just kind of took a chance and I said, well, I've never used the Latin parts of the wiki, but let's see what the wiki has for Latin. And I found a Latin genealogical word list on the wiki. And I was able to, like with my paleography experience, kind of pick out how to spell the words. But then I used that word list and they had all the words that I needed on that word list to completely translate this record for her. And it ended up being a really interesting experience. So yeah, it was just such a like sigh of relief that it was something that I was like, okay, well, I've no experience in this, but the wiki might have something, and it did, and it completely changed the direction of the research based on that record that we learned. So,
oh, I love that, and like I said before, I just feel like we don't know all the tools and all the resources that are available on the wiki, because I wouldn't even have thought to look for something like that, but I think I would have gone to the wiki hoping to find something like that, knowing that the tools that are there. Did we miss anything that you wanted to share before I ask you?
No, you're good. I think this is kind of the last of that purple button that I wanted to talk about. So I'll just kind of head back.
What else is coming to Wiki?
Yes. Okay. So we talked about these country pages. These are my favorites. Please explore your country of interest in all these articles that are here. But one of our newer things that we're really excited about that is still in its infancy, well, maybe it's a toddler now. It's grown up a little, but it's still a child, is our guided research projects. So I'm going to go back to the Wiki home page. So right now we're on a country page. I'm going to click Wiki home and come back here. Okay, so we've kind of talked about this a little bit in the past through, a couple of roots texts. We've mentioned it a little bit, but we haven't really introduced it to the whole world yet. So I want to show you guys this because it's something we're really excited about. So on this main page of the Family Search Wiki, over here on this right-hand side, there's a little pop-up box that says Jumpstart Your Research. And you can click the guided research button right here, and it will take you to our guided research project. It's a tool. It's still in development, but it's essentially, we've been working on it for about 3 years. Hang on, it's going to take a second to load. Oh no, I might have to use Chrome. I've been using Edge. Hang on, I might have to share a new window. 1 second.
No, it's fine. I'm excited about this.
I'm just building the suspense is what I'm doing for you. Okay. All right, I might have to share a new window.
That's fine.
Is there a way I could just stop sharing and share again? Let's do that.
Yep.
Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, here we are.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So clicking on that little box on the main page, apparently it's having a little bit of issues in Edge, which is what I was using. So if you guys are Edge users, now we know. Try Chrome instead for right now until we fix that bug. So we have, this is our guided research map. So let me kind of explain what guided research is and then jump into how to use it in these last few minutes. So guided research is a tool we've been building where we essentially take the most important information for finding birth, marriage, and death records in different countries and states and feed it to you in priority order. So for example, if you've never researched in Ohio before and you don't know which databases have the best birth collections for Ohio for you to do your research, we give them to you in how we've prioritized them as far as who has the most record collections, the most coverage. So you don't have to try to like randomly guess through all the different websites to just guess what works to find your ancestor there. So we've tried to prioritize this research for birth, marriage, and death to make it just very streamlined and easy to get to your records really quickly. These locations in green are places that we currently have this experience for. You can see that it's not the whole world yet. We're working on it. But right now we have the United States and Canada and Mexico, Italy, Netherlands, Scandinavia, and the British Isles is where we've got right now. I'm going to use one of the United States as an example. If you just scroll in to this map, we'll use Ohio as our example. So I can click Ohio, and it takes me to just a very simple page that just asks you, are you looking for birth, marriage, or death for your ancestor? So if I know my ancestor was born in Ohio, but I just want to find his birth record, I can click birth, and it tells me, for searching a birth index, start here. So it says these Ohio birth collections at FamilySearch are the best ones. They have the most coverage, the highest record count. So your highest chances of success for finding an online record are going to be here. So I can click on that link, and it will take me to FamilySearch, and I can search those collections there. But my favorite part is, sometimes, a lot of us, how many times have we searched a record collection and not found our ancestor, right? Like so many times for so many of us. And so we have a page called What Else You Can Try, which is essentially a collection of ideas of how to still find your ancestors' information, even if you weren't successful in searching the online databases. So I'm just going to click any of these links, and it will take me to this What Else You Can Try page. We have a section for additional online resources. So other indexes that didn't make it to like our top 1 or 2 on the main page, but are still good indexes. So here's some other records you can find here. We also give substitute records. So, maybe your ancestor's birth record didn't survive, but that doesn't mean you can never find birth information. So here's other record types that you can try to search these to see if it will give you information about your ancestor's birth. So we have substitute records. And then we also give you ideas for how to improve your searching. Sometimes searching different websites is tricky, using wildcards and spelling variations, and knowing how to search a website well is really a key to finding a lot of these records. So maybe your ancestor was in those collections, but due to a weird search criteria that you put in on accident, it's not showing up. And so we give ideas of how to adapt your searching here, such as expand your date range. Maybe the record happened a different year than you were expecting. Search for the parents of a child instead of that child. Maybe the record was indexed incorrectly or something. So we give ideas for how to improve your searching. And then we'll also give you some information about maybe your record just doesn't exist, your ancestor's birth record. So we list any known record gaps. So, for example, statewide registration of births in Ohio didn't occur until 1908. So if your ancestor was born in 1907, maybe that's why there's not a birth record, is because the state didn't require it until the next year. So searching might be in vain if your record doesn't exist. We'll also give coverage tables if they exist for records that FamilySearch has published. So any FamilySearch collections, these will tell you what parts of the state are covered in that collection. And then any records or any counties or locations that had record loss, we list those as well. So if your ancestor was born in Crawford County, Ohio, and you can't find the birth record, it might be because they had record loss and it was destroyed, right? So that's kind of a brief synopsis of guided research. So its goal is really to get you straight into the best record as soon as possible. And then if you're not successful, give you ideas of what else to do. So we kind of have taken the best information from the more encyclopedia part of the FamilySearch Wiki and then condensed it and refined it into guided research.
Wow, I think that's amazing. Well, especially for people who are like really new to even research that, you're totally, like you said, the name guided research, or, it totally is going to help them go by step to be able to find what they're looking for.
Exactly.
So we had a comment from Tara Lynn Parker saying, I'm brand new to the wiki. So someone like Tara Lynn, brand new to the wiki, what's the first thing you would tell them to go to?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Brand new to the wiki and then brand new to genealogy are kind of different things. So I guess I would also ask, how new are you to genealogy research? A lot of people that are, have no experience with genealogy research at all might get a little bit overwhelmed with the wiki. There's a lot of words that we use and record types that we talk about in the Family Search Research Wiki that, professionals are usually more, not even professionals, experienced genealogists are more familiar with. But if she has research experience, I would say, find an ancestor that you're curious about finding records for, and then just search for that country in the Family Search Wiki and see what we have. There's so many articles and so many resources there to learn about the records and find out where to access them on the wiki, that places that you might never have looked before. So I'd say just pick a country and just start clicking on stuff and browse through it and just see what you can find, because it's an endless array of possibilities.
Oh, I totally agree. I think that's one of the best things, is just to go to that location and find out what's available there.
Yeah.
I think that the wiki is the best place to go. Okay, so in wrapping up, is there anything else that you want to tell us before you go about what you do, or about how we can better use the wiki for research?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Honestly, I will try to give you, I guess, a little bit of encouragement. Some people kind of may use the wiki and get a little overwhelmed and not know what to do, because there's so much information there. And it's hard to present all this information in the order of what you need, right? Because we don't know what you, the researcher, is interested in looking for. And so I would say, if you're using the wiki for your research, don't give up. The information you need is probably there. Try searching the wiki a little bit differently, or searching different keywords. And sometimes, honestly, here's kind of a little secret. The search function that we have in the Family Search Wiki is the same search function that MediaWiki, the platform, uses for everyone else that uses a wiki type platform like this. And sometimes the search function doesn't exactly get you what you want. It searches a little bit differently than like Google does. And so sometimes if you're not finding what you want in the wiki, I would even suggest maybe Googling, like using Google to search through us. So search Family Search Wiki and then your topic, and then Google might pull up the things a little bit better than the wiki search does.
Oh, that's great. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
We had Carolyn was saying that she's familiar with Family Search and Ancestry, but looking to wiki for next steps on my brick walls.
Oh, good. Okay. Great.
I think that for me, that was like, I remember when I was very, very first starting, Ancestry was my go-to. But once I learned how to properly use wiki and all the catalogs and the things like that on Family Search, that was no longer the case. I realized how much was available to us on Family Search, and for free.
Yeah, it's true.
We have one more. Thank you. I put some link on the French part of Quebec area, but I need to learn more skill on editing.
Oh, good. Yeah, keep an eye out. We're going to try to produce some editing helps here in the future. So hopefully when we get those in progress, those will be really helpful for editing.
Okay, awesome. I'm so excited. Oh, we have one more. Checking out the records on Mozambique right now. Oh, right, Tara Lynn.
Oh, great.
And so that's another thing that I would encourage those who are watching, go to that area that you've been researching in and see what's available. And I love when I click on that area and find out, oh, wow, there are these records that will show me, further my research. So I appreciate you, Amber. Is there anything else that you want to share before we?
Yeah, I guess if you're researching in places and you're not quite finding exactly what you need in the wiki, never fear. We've got projects and things we're working on in process to continue to build parts of the wiki that maybe haven't received a lot of attention in the past. So if you're not finding what you need, don't give up. Come back in a couple months and see if we've added anything, because we have a big team that's working on adding brand new information that's never been here before. So continue to come back, and hopefully we'll get you what you need.
That's exciting. That's so exciting. And share with your friends about the wiki, because I think, like I said at the beginning, I think it is like, we don't talk about it enough. People don't understand how to use it, and they don't know the resources that are available there.
Yeah.
So tell your friends about the wiki, especially. I just love that it's a free, resource for people to do research. So, thank you so much, Amber. And
Thank you.
appreciate you taking this time with us today and telling us all about the wiki.
You bet.
So just wanted really quickly before we end, I want to tell everybody about what we've got coming up today. We have 2 more live interviews today. At 3 o'clock, we have Lisa Louise Cook, and she's going to talk to us actually a little bit more about Google, about how we can further our research with Google, kind of like what Amber was telling us. And then at 7, we're going to talk about interviewing, recording, and preserving family stories with Sydney Walker from the Church News and Rachel Totter from Evelyn Life. So it's going to be kind of a full day with interviews and lots of information and lots of new things to learn. And so we hope that you'll join us. Anyway, thanks again, Amber. It was so fun to talk to you and so fun to learn more about the wiki.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for all of your efforts and for everything that you're doing.
You bet. And thank you. I wish you guys all the best in your family history work.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.